this is a moment that was really always just meant to be about you and Arslan. I like this, actually, this change when Susan's Peter cuts through there.
I like this moment because everyone's suddenly worrying about me.
I always wondered what you were thinking, Anna, though, when you looked over at Aslan there and he's sitting there and there's a dead witch and you've got this look on the face like, what are you doing?
Yeah, well, because the thing is, I think, we knew that they'd gone to battle,
so
and we did turn up, but we can't really. Georgie and I missed a chunk in between. And
Right.
came into this scene to find it all.
This was actually probably your most emotional scene, Will.
Yeah, it was.
No, I remember how... Do you remember that bottle? And you know when it pours over? And in that we had one drop, but most of the time it went all over my face, Georgie.
It didn't.
You poured out the entire bottle on me,
did
like
not.
up my nose.
I did not.
And then Will would have to try and clean it off with his clumpy
that
hands.
happened once.
Like
That
three
was only once, I'm saying.
I think
Skandar.
Will was amazing in this scene. Actually, he was so good and so emotional.
And he's gone silent again.
Actually, after it finished, Skandar gave Will a hug of his own free accord.
I know.
Only Will, and then you joined in. That wasn't called
Actually,
for.
that was one moment I won't forget. And Skandar said that was really good because he doesn't tell people they've done well a lot of the time. And so when he
With a
does, I
mark of
sort of
respect.
yeah,
He
I
just
locked
says that
into
they're
my
proud,
mind
that he's proud of them.
to the brothers.
Coronation scene was quite a big deal actually because it was just before we moved from the North Island down to the South Island, and I remember sort of we felt, even though we weren't at the end, we felt as though we'd achieved quite a lot having finished our North Island shoot.
I think actually as well, I think this was difficult for me because chronologically speaking, like I was just saying, we didn't do it at the end.
This was one of the scenes we really didn't do in chronological order.
Yeah,
So the
and
most
so
out of order.
and so I still look kind of young and I'm smiling and I you know,
Not a man yet.
Skandar and I haven't actually still haven't really changed.
Look at the
that
Georgie
point.
wobble
Yeah.
on Mrs. Beaver. She's got even more of a Georgie wobble now.
But this I remember we actually did to music as well.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
We actually had some temp music that we were
Which
using.
was, okay, because we were told we had to walk in time with it. And Will has no sense of rhythm or time. So he would just walk on, like, clumpity clump, clump, clump.
always argue who was actually out of sync
And it was Skandar was out of
No, because at first I think it changed its time, like its timing. Because at first it was all fine, and then suddenly it just like sort of went like offbeat or like jazz.
Queen Susan.
There was actually a whole nother part to this coronation, the dancing sequence, which had to go, didn't it? I mean,
It did, there was. It was actually that I wanted originally a sense of real celebration after the ceremony, because I felt like this was serious and then we needed celebration. And largely I just found that when I put it together, this scene felt like a celebration, even though it's not everyone leaping about. Just the smiles, the sense of achievement. As an audience member, you feel the sense of celebration without needing to have the dance. And it also felt like with the dance, there were just too many endings. It just kind of, you'd keep thinking it ended and then it would end again and then it would end again. So losing the dance kind of just gave the movie a better flow.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you take
And
out
it's
the
like,
golden
so Andrew
ball?
always has a go at us for like being
Just
bad
for
in the
pace.
scene, and then we have a go at him for cutting out our scenes.
Yes, there was a moment where Lucy actually hands Tumnus new horn tips, little gold horn tips. And you
Yes.
actually see them in the scene coming up. But no, really, the coronation was feeling very long.
But it's
Yeah.
not very good continuity, is it?
But no
Why?
one really notices,
Time
and
cut.
there's no time cut. There's no reason that you couldn't have given to them in the party. There is a time cut there. 1 minute they're in the coronation, next minute you're in the party. Sometime during the party, Lucy went and gave him the horns in a more private moment.
I know,
cut.
but you gotta see that his horns are more protruding, and instead of like being flesh coloured on the tip, they've got like gold.
And that's the fun thing that now people will know from having watched this DVD and heard you talking about them.
So watch the DVD.
Please.
This was when I was watching it the other day, this moment made me cry because I thought it was so nice and also linking like...
Guys, how many times did you cry in this film? I never cried. I was just sitting there like, yeah, this is so cool. And you guys like pouring your hearts out.
James's acting is really good.
Yeah, he was a great actor. With him in the dungeon, I remember there was one line I couldn't get right kind of like for a while, like Mr. Tumnus. And he was really good, and every time he was spot on, even though I wasn't entirely.
Okay, the girl in the orange dress, she is my older sister, Rachel Henley.
She is.
She looks so beautiful
She
here.
looks
actually.
stunning.
And the other sort of attractive guy is me when I grow up.
There she is.
Was it weird casting older versions of us?
It was really hard, and it was even weirder for me to imagine you guys seeing how I imagined older versions of you to look. But, I mean, obviously Rachel was the easiest to cast because, we met her and she had so many of Georgie's traits and similarities, so that was kind of an easy one. But finding the other three was pretty difficult, because you had to look for similar physical traits and just kind of find someone that was close enough that the audience would actually believe and not find this an alienating experience. It's very hard to suddenly be thrust into the scene with completely new actors and to feel the same emotionally about them as we have just with having this whole journey with you guys.
Mm-hmm. I think that Mark Wells, the older me, is the coolest one though. He's
No,
a
Rachel's
man.
the coolest one. They're all really cool.
Spoon.
Lucy.
That was the weirdest thing is Sophie, who plays the older Susan, when they first came to New Zealand, because we went back and shot this way later in the New Zealand autumn, we were I think we were doing costume tests or makeup tests, and I went in to get, I think it was Mark, and I found them playing a word game that Sophie had made up. It was some game with anagrams or something, and it was just the similarities, one between Sophie and Susan, and then two between Sophie and you, was just kind of a little bit spooky. But you guys actually bumped into each other by accident.
I did. I walked into Sophie in London somewhere, and she said, "Excuse me, but are you Susan?" And it was just the weirdest experience.
And I remember in this bit. Do you remember
This is
when?
so good. This is a fantastic moment. The professor throws the cricket ball for me to catch, and the funny thing is, when he threw the cricket ball, it actually hit Skandar's head. And
I was looking down, so
Jim being Jim actually didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
he was
actually,
laughing.
He actually started laughing and pointed at Skandar and was laughing at him.
Casey, woo!
I'm not because when I first saw it, I actually didn't. I was talking with people, so
That's
actually.
you.
Yeah.
That's
Andrew, how come you didn't use capital letters? For like Susan Pevensey, Peter Pevensey.
I don't know, just
See,
a
Georgie
design
Henley.
choice.
No, I didn't know one guy.
Georgie Henley.
Just because I didn't have a very good education. But did you want to talk about this moment, Georgie? This was one of the very first things we actually shot, because we very much wanted the children to look like they had at the beginning of the movie, before they'd got a chance to get out in the sun and grow 5 inches and everything.
6.5.
I feel like I really enjoyed the scene actually because I got to know Jim a bit better. I've actually found this quite emotional while doing it because I was quite sad at the beginning and then like quite happy at the end, and then I was like holding his hand and it was like,
There was a sense of hope. Yeah.
And I love this bit who loves this bit?
No, I
Yes.
really like that this is put off. I really liked it
Yeah,
being
this is
put
a bit better.
after some of the credits, so it was kind of.
I think actually it's a little thing to all the children out there who will be knocking on the back of their wardrobe, you know, just to keep your eyes open.
Thank you for watching the commentary of Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. Mr. Georgie Henley, goodbye.
This is to people in DVD land. Goodbye from Skandar Keynes, the cool one of the four.
Hope you all enjoyed watching the commentary and that it's given you some insight into how much fun we have making the film.
This is William Moseley saying goodbye, and I just hope you see it as 4 normal kids who got thrown into a magical land.
This is Andrew Adamson, just wanting to thank you guys for watching this DVD commentary if you've made it this far, and just thanking all 4 kids for participating, and wanting to say again how proud of you all I am. Thank you very much.